Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 52 of my story. 3:31 early morning, and I'm told that it's time for me to pack out because I'll be leaving today. So I gather up my things that I have, and I walk out the room, and there's a line of women who've already been woken. And so I join that line, and we wait for them to gather up everyone. Eventually, there'll be 42 of us coming from this one dorm. We're walked out and we're processed out by the U.S. Marshals. We go through the whole prison intake process as we did when we walked in. We're strip searched, we cough, we squat, we do all that, then we're dressed out again. Eventually, we're all shackled together, our ankles, our wrists, and around our waist, and onto each other, and then we're led out. I was expecting an old rusty bus like we see on TV. However, because Hurricane Harvey had just hit the eastern and southeastern region of Houston and Jefferson County, they had a bus that was donated to them because of the hurricane. And so the U.S. Marshals ended up picking us up in one of those huge casino style buses. So we're led onto this bus and we're told that we're not allowed to talk and just to be quiet. There's a U.S. Marshal on the bus with a gun, and then there's another U.S. Marshal driving. So they drive us to our destination. The ride is very long and it's bumpy. For the most part, I tried to sleep through everything. I woke up once we entered this military base, and all of a sudden this military person came out, and he's basically telling them that they cannot come on the base this way and that they need to back this bus up all the way out. But the person jumped on the bus asking if there was any weapons on the bus, and they're basically telling them, sir, these are all inmates. We're bringing them to the federal complex over here on the compound. And they're telling them y'all cannot enter this base this way. So they had a little trouble getting on the base, but eventually we arrived, and it was not a warm welcome at all. We're met by multiple people outside holding out guns on us, and we're told to shut up as we get off and to be quiet. So this was my warm prison welcome, and it was something that I knew in my head that I would never be able to get used to. Eventually, I'm led inside of this facility and put in separate rooms with most of these women, and they're giving us bag lunches, telling us that it was lunchtime. They knew that we had missed lunch. They wanted to make sure that we had eaten something before we're brought to where we're supposed to go. At this point, I'm not at all enthused about this. I'm very, very sad, and I just wish that this was not my life at this time. However, it is my current situation. So I know that I have no choice but to adapt and hope that that appeal goes through, and hope. While I'm sitting in this room, I can't help but to notice that there is a reeking smell of shit, and it's very prudent in the air. I mean, it's all around us. And as we're sitting there, there's a drain in the floor, and it's actually coming up out the drain. And they're sending these ladies in with these mop buckets and mops, and these ladies are wearing like these khaki uniforms and these khaki dresses. Right then, I've never been to prison, so I didn't know who these people were. I thought they worked at the facility. So they're happy and they're cleaning this out and telling us they're so sorry and asking us what is our custody level and are we coming over to the facility. So I'm in the room with all these people. I don't know what's happening. I'm saying yes, coming over to this facility. Well, there's this one person who was with me at the Oklahoma Transit facility who's sitting there. And I was terrified of this person because even though I would say it was a woman, he was telling me that he was a man, and he looked exactly like a man. There was nothing about him that was a woman. And so he's telling me, and I'm telling you right now, when you get in these rooms, don't let them offer you no candy bars because they're going to come after you first and all kind of stuff. And so I'm sitting there and I'm scared for my life because just looking at him, I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope this place is not filled with more people like this. And so I have nothing against people who decide that they want a gender change or they want to be something that they feel is more comfortable for them. But at this point in prison, I was not expecting this at all. And so he's basically giving me the game or whatever. So eventually they're calling me out, asking me questions. And the first person I meet with is a counselor. And so the counselor is basically looking over my paperwork and he say, oh, I see you have some kids. And he's asking me where are my kids at and things like that. And he's saying, I'm looking at your case. What I would tell you is don't tell anyone while you're here. And so I was basically like, why? And he was like, it doesn't look too good. So don't tell anybody while you're here. Just say something else. And so I'm following him at this point. Well, he's very nice and pleasant to me. He's basically telling me I have an easy stay as long as I stay out the way, don't hang with the wrong crowds, and just stay busy. The same thing everybody has told me from the beginning. So I'm led out of this room and I'm led into another room where now they dress me out. They put me in a khaki uniform, just like everyone else, and send me back out. By the time I get back to this other room, mostly all these ladies are dressed out in khakis. Eventually, someone shows up and they start calling our names. Well, they call my name with a group of other names, and these ladies are dressed in green. And they say, "Oh, we made a mistake. This lady is not staying at the FCI. She's going to the camp." So they take me back to the back and they dress me out in green uniform with a green shirt. So now I'm with this other group of people. So I'm going to be led over to the camp by one of the officers. So we're taken back through the facility, walked across the street. They take us to our office where there's like 5 ladies standing there waiting for us. And so immediately one of them asks, so after I walked across the street, there's 5 ladies standing up there, and they have papers in their hand. And so this is the part where you are given a mentor, someone who is there to help you, guide you through your first 6 weeks of being at this facility. And so I received a nice, sweet lady. Her name was Debbie, I remember. And so she was and so I had these big black boots on and they were killing my feet. And so this lady went around, she got me some tennis shoes that I can wear. She said, until you make the store, you missed the store already, you can go next week. And she's just like basically taking me on a routine walk around this whole compound that sits on maybe like 10 acres. And so she helped me through that first part of the process. But I was very sad. So I remember once we finished doing this whole complete walkthrough that I just basically went and sit down on the bleachers outside, because one thing that I really wanted while I had been caged in for almost 2 months was some sunlight. I wanted to be able to sit outside and be in the sun, something that I really didn't do on the outside. But it was the point of just being caged in that I now wanted to feel the sun on my skin. So I sat out there, and then I remember a bell ringing and everybody moving around the compound fast, and then her coming to look for me, and she said, "Oh, it's finna be count time. We have to go inside." And so I go inside this room. This was a unique complex. It wasn't like a regular complex that you would go to. It was actually a old Motel 6 building, which used to cater to the families of the military who was out on this base. However, they had closed this motel down and stopped catering to the families on the base because the place was very deplorable, as well as it was riddled with asbestos. However, our government felt that it was okay to open this place up and use it for imprisonment of women. So I eventually went down and got my voice registered, and then I got my code to be able to use the phone. So I sat on the computer and I sent my emails out to my family, letting them know that I had arrived and that I'll be calling them all soon. Well, I had emails. I checked those emails. I responded back, and the first person that I wanted to call was my daughter. So I'm calling my daughter to check to see, how she weathered this hurricane. And she's telling me, "Mom, I haven't weathered it good. I almost drowned. I had to be rescued. I got 5 feet of water inside my apartment. Everything is ruined. I was basically standing on top of my counter when help arrived." So I'm a little sad about that for her. And she's telling me that the people are shipping them out and she doesn't know where she's going to go. And I'm basically telling her, no, 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 get in touch with family and you go wherever they're going if that's what you. So my daughter's telling me that she has spoken with her father. And the conversation went something like this. My mom is being transferred over to the facility where she's going to start doing her time. And he's basically telling her, "Oh, you're not going to be the only person sad. Y'all not the only people that's going to lose a mother and a father, because it's a lot of more people that's going to go down. And all those kids are going to be parentless too."